Hi, we're Gel Electrophoresis.
We're here to tell you how to do gel electrophoresis.
There's 3 parts and they're easy as 1, 2, 3.
In this video, we're going to show you how to make a 1% gel. And for the first step, a scale and agarose will be needed, as well as a weight belt, which should be put on top of the scale. Now first, we need to measure out the agarose, which in this case we'll need 0.5 grams of it. Once the 0.5 grams of agarose have been measured, we can move on to measure the buffer. Now, for this gel, we are using TAE buffer, and you will need a graduated cylinder to measure out the buffer, which in this case we're going to be measuring out 50 milliliters. Next, you will need the buffer and the agarose all measured out, as well as a flask. And then you're going to take the buffer and pour that into the flask. Then you will do the same for the agarose. And once that is done, you could just take the flask and swirl it around and then go on to the next step. Here, Layla's going to show you how to assemble the gel electrophoresis. Now first, you're going to begin by placing the rubber stoppers into the gel tray. This will prevent the actual solution of agarose and buffer to just spill. Next, you're going to put the comb and just insert that on one side of the gel tray. And then once you have that, you are completed and done for the next step, which is getting the flask and going to the microwave. Now the purpose of the microwave is to ensure that the agarose gets completely dissolved into the buffer. Now you could put the flask into the microwave and set the time to 30 seconds. Once the 30 seconds are up, you can go ahead and open the microwave and make sure you have your hot mitts to take out the flask. Once you obtain the flask, you can swirl it around and check for any fish eyes. If there seems to be some, then you could insert it back to the microwave for 10 to 15 seconds. You may need to repeat this process several times, but the goal here is to ensure that the solution becomes crystal clear. Once you've seen that it is crystal clear, then you are ready for the next step. Before even doing this step, optional to add ethidium bromide to the flask and then insert it into the gel tray. Otherwise, you could just insert the solution into the gel tray. And once the gel has been set for 15 minutes, then you could just go ahead and pipette the DNA. You can measure 5 to 15 microliters of whatever DNA sample or food coloring and just insert that into the well. Once that is done, you can put it into the chamber and set it to run. Finally, we can now run the gel. And in this step, we are going to take the gel and put it into the chamber and submerge that with TAE buffer. And once that is completely submerged, you may take the lid and place it onto the chamber, making sure that the colors are corresponding to each other. Since DNA has a negative charge, you want the wells to be on the negative side so that it could run to the positive side, which is red. Once that is done, you may turn on the power source and then your gel should be running. To ensure that it is running, you want to check for bubbles on the positive side. If the bubbles do appear, then you may let the gel run for an hour to an hour and 15 minutes.